Esad Ribic, and you're listening Across the Bifrost.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. I am your host today, Ryan Doze. I am without the other two members of the Warriors 3, but when you're down two, you got to find some way to make it worth everyone's while. You're missing out on Will Rose. You're missing out on Faz, the Faz Guardian. So we had to go above and beyond. We had to bring in a ringer, a friend of the show, truly a friend of mine. We talk almost every day. Brandon Bloxdorf from Apollo City Comics is here to talk about new comics. Brandon, welcome back for your, fourth, fifth time on Across the Bifrost?
Something like that. It's not enough. It's never enough.
It's definitely not enough. No,
Breaks
it's
my heart that we don't record weekly. If we could, we would.
Believe me, everybody, we would not run out of things to talk about. It would be.
I really want to talk about the new Trad Moore book with you, the Doctor Strange stuff, Full Moon.
Ooh,
This is a trip. And
I'm not
going to talk about it on the show until we get you on it to talk about it because you're a Trad Moore guy.
Just I'll have my people call your people, aka we'll just
go to the mayor. There's a couple forms you got to fill out. You got to
right. I have a green room thing that I need you to do, and I have a rider to fill out. So no, but we need to talk about Trad Moore because you and I are kind of Trad Moore fanboys when it comes to especially his work with Marvel. But we're not here today to talk about Trad Moore. We are here to talk about I wish we were here to talk about Trad Moore today. We're here to talk about the newest issue of Thor. We are not going to really talk about Avengers this week because Jason Aaron's run is wrapping up, and we're going to do a whole kind of retrospective on that when we get Will back. And we are not going to talk about Alligator Loki today, everybody, because Faz isn't here, and I kind of have a rule where we don't talk about Alligator Loki unless Faz is here because we don't want to break his heart. And so we're just going to talk about the latest issue of Thor. It came out a few weeks ago as you are hearing this. It's issue 33 of the current run of Thor. And it was quite a doozy, Brandon. Quite a doozy. Yeah.
I mean, this whole since Donnie left the book.
Well, for now, we don't it's up in the air. We don't know if he's gonna come back.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, he posted a picture recently. It looks like 10 years older. I guess that guy's really going through some stuff right now. Poor guy.
Yeah. We our best wishes and our best wishes to Donnie Cates and whatever he is going through right now. To Brandon's cat T'Challa has made his presence known.
My Hollywood prop just
you're like your sixth grade science project artboard is falling over. Everybody, while Brandon gets some stuff figured out, and I don't know, maybe kicks T'Challa out of the. Oh, hi, Spock.
Yeah, Spock is back there. He's
oh man, Brandon's dog Spock is an absolute joy and a treat. But yeah, so you were saying about Donnie.
Yeah, and I just we bonded over Donnie Cates.
We bonded over Donnie Cates. Yep, Donnie Cates was both of our
like
first
the
love.
Next thing for us to be like, oh man, we're best friends.
Yeah,
and I love what she's doing because I know Torrin is essentially taking Donnie's concepts. He had some like notes on where he was going with the series, and she's kind of embellishing on it and making it her own, which is very interesting and challenging in itself. And so like this series feels like it's kind of been drawn out, but you have to remember she's still kind of getting her like gears into this part of the storyline, although she was doing some Thor related stuff,
right, with the Jane Foster and the Mighty Thor limited series that if you guys want to check out, we were able to talk to artist Michael Dowling on that series and Torrin herself. So if you want to go back in the archives and check those out, you can learn more about what Brandon's talking about, just kind of the Thor adjacent stuff that she's done.
And like this issue, like, I'm a big Doctor Doom fan, and I really wanted, and this is nothing against Torrin, but like I knew that this was coming, like Thor versus Doom, and I
Yep.
wanted to know what Donnie was going to do with that, like with that kind of
Yes.
houses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That's always going to like mess up my critique of this book because it's a great Thor story, and I'm having fun, and it's
Yeah.
very good writing. Some great. I want to reread it because there's some really in depth stuff, and like I love when
Right.
she gets real introspective on it. But I just compare it.
See,
I hate
here's what people need to understand. Like, I love Torrens' work. I love Donny Cates's work. At points I haven't been as high on his Thor, but that probably is just a me problem because
it is.
my like it probably is. Our good friend Faz takes me to task on that regularly. Of like, oh yeah, Ryan hates Donny Cates. I do not hate Donny Cates. Like, King in Black is still one of my favorite books. Silver Surfer Black is still one of my favorite books. Cosmic Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange Damnation, and that's just a lot. That's just Marvel stuff. Donnie is fantastic at his style of writing characters and reinventing characters. And I think maybe sometimes that rubs up against what I want in a Thor book. And hey, that's just like how most people interpret
This
comics.
does feel more Thory than what Donnie was doing with Thor.
Right. And I think that is definitely close to Thorne's heart, with it being essentially part of her culture and part of her growing up. And when we got to talk to her many months back, I mean, just a phenomenal person who knows not just the character, but knows the world that this character comes from. So you're right. It's not good or bad. And I knew we were going to talk about Donny Cates at some point because we rarely go a week without mentioning him in some form or fashion to each other. But there are some distinct differences in how they draw out this story. And like Brandon was saying, we talked about the Black Winter a long time ago on this show, at the onset of Donnie's run of Thor. And the thread of Thanos and the Infinity, Stone Mjolnir, and these, Infinity Stones becoming very, very important. And that black glove, we still don't, that black glove and the black Infinity Stone, there's still a lot to be drawn out on that. Those things are just now being tied back. So Horn does have a tall order here. And we know, like, in her world, these scripts are already written. These scripts have already been handed off. Like, she's on to the next thing, whatever that next thing is. I think I said this a few New Comics episodes ago, that it felt like we had a lot of loose ends in the last issues. Once we started this Blood of the Fathers kind of subset, we did those 2 issues of Legacy of Thanos that I actually have right in front of me right now. Fantastic.
Those are
Nick
fun.
Klein covers. Shed a tear for Nick Klein not doing the interiors anymore. But we'll get to Juan Gedion's art because it's very different and it's very awesome in its own way. Torn is finally like bringing these threads together. And this was one of the issues. I was rereading it today on the way home, and from an appointment. My wife is driving, I'm in the passenger seat, and I audibly was like, that's good shit right there. Like, and I haven't had that audible, like, yes, bring it, like, hell yes, continue, like, this right here, whatever panel or line I was reading at the time. I thought this book started to tie some loose ends that I had questions about, but it started to tie them together. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the next few issues.
Yeah.
Well,
so she's good at that. She's good at still keeping you hooked because, like, you come off of what Donnie was doing and into Torrens, like, kind of pickup where she, saved the series, and she's trying to, like, get, the thoughts going and, like, the purpose of it all. Every issue kind of felt like, okay, what's happening? But every issue ended on a good enough note to be like, well, I'm coming back next month.
Yeah, I'm not letting this book go now.
Dude, at the end of this one, I was like, well, I'm fucking definitely coming back next month. There's no way.
And we know, like, the cover on the next one is incredible. It is Doom, Thanos, and Thor kind of in this triple threat match style fight. we should probably just get into like a little bit of the story of this one real quick and kind of talk about a few of our favorite points. We'll talk about Juan Gedion's art. We've already talked a lot about Torrens' writing and what we really feel like is being brought to this book. But this story picks up right where we left off with Thor jumping into Latveria and just kind of like going hammer hog wild on people. And we know that Doom is Doom. Like he wants to win. He wants his plan to succeed. And he's not above putting these mind-controlled Latverian citizens in harm's way to get Thor taken care of. He sends them, in a mind control fashion, he sends them running off of a cliff, and Thor's like, I can't save all of them, but I can go stop Doom. And so he goes to stop Doom and confront him. We finally get that fight between them that's been teased for, God, Brandon, forever. It feels like, the last few months. And
I don't know if that's the fight that we're like building up to.
It's not the final fight.
Yeah.
But they finally do have a little bit of a conflict.
Yeah.
So that happens, but also in the past, we see at the beginning of the book and the end of the book, Thanos is bringing his plan, his inclusion in this story to fruition, where he's been waiting on Vanaheim in the past for a long time, waiting for the night that Bor will try to form the Black Infinity Stone. We still don't know a lot about this item. We know a few things, but more, we know what this stone costs Bor. We know what this costs the people of Asgard, that there's so many souls going into this creation, and then Thanos gets to the kiln where everything's being formed at the end, and the last page, we see that it's not an Infinity Stone the way we maybe thought it was going to be, a little black, crystal. It's a child in the midst of this, this foundry, this, creation process that we think is going to end in a physical stone. It ends up being a child, and Thanos is as confused as we are. So, Brandon, I'm sure I left a few things out there. But yeah, what were your thoughts on kind of some of the story elements of this issue?
I mean, honestly, it comes to like her writing, what she has going on. I love the dialogue, the caption boxes towards the end where you're really hammering a message through. That's the thing I applaud the most, because when you're able to do it fluidly inside of a superhero book like this, it's just like it's great dialogue, and she's wonderful at just keeping you hooked and like with the flow with it. And the twist at the end, that's what just sold me. Like, she's really good at just always bringing something that you don't quite expect, and keeping you really excited to know like more of the story, which is what you need in a monthly superhero book. You need to be craving more,
Right.
but to keep that $3.99 price point, like, worth it. And she does.
Right.
Every month, and I can't stop buying it. And even though, like, we're sad that, Donnie's off the book, Nick is off the book, the creative teams on the book right now are so phenomenal still. Like,
Yeah,
it took me a moment to kind of adjust to the art for this one.
that's
But
true. Yep.
pages, like, it took me a second to just to Doom, but there's one page. It's let me see if I could find it. It's like page 9 or something. Where him and Thor first like talking, and like there's this, like a bunch of like 2 panels, and one's just a close up on Doom with him in the book, and it looks like so MF Doomy kind of also gosh, I feel bad. Warren Johnson.
Daniel Warren Johnson. Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
it kind of feels like that in a sense, and the
Yes.
Thor with like his bulging muscles, and just like it's great craft. I really like how they're keeping this
Right.
distance going, and it still looks badass as fuck.
There's a lot of really good ink work in here that I like. Oftentimes we don't talk about ink work because we're neither one of us is a professional inker, so it's like, can we really talk about inking? But like, I noticed this with Juan Gedion's art, and we might as well, let's just get into Juan Gedion's art. As we've been alluding to it, the line work is thicker, the ink work is a little thicker in places, and I love that we have this almost Daniel Warren Johnson style kinetic energy in this comic. Was there any panels that kind of stuck out to you of like, man, Juan Gedeon drew the hell out of this thing right here?
Oh man, it's hard to choose because there's a lot of really wild stuff going on here, especially like the 2-page spread with the fight. You know, when you're throwing the hammer from one page to another,
Right.
and
Great page.
just nicking it like Doom's cheek just right. You know, that's the cool part about it. That's one of my favorites, and you know,
It's
he
also
does a lot of
blurry and distorted
yeah.
for that second. I mean, it's a great affect to bring to a small panel at the bottom of a big fight panel, a
Well,
big fight double page spread. It's yeah, I agree.
he does do a lot of those small panels just kind of placed in like real subtly throughout the book too, which is a lot of fun. Um,
But
just great stuff. It's one of those things like I'm not disappointed. And I'm not like saying this is the greatest Thor series ever, but it's certainly a good one.
oh yeah, and I think Faz talked about this, or Faz is about to talk about this on our Hammered Q&A, whether wherever we are in the time stream, everybody, before, after, who knows. Faz talked about this on a, let's just say, a recent or an upcoming episode of the podcast, where he said that we often sleep on Donnie and Nick's, now becoming Torin and, these guest artists series of Thor, the current volume of Thor. We often sleep on this one because we're so close to it. Like we have no absence makes the heart grow fonder effect with this book yet. So who knows? Let's say this, since we don't know, the Will Moss and the editorial team, they know what's happening with this book, obviously. Maybe it's continuing, maybe it's getting restarted, who knows? Maybe in a year from the end of this story, we'll look back and be like, man, Donny Cates' Thor, like it was great. Like maybe we'll look back with it with more fondness as a completed project, as opposed to now being like, I don't know. I feel like I haven't been giving this book its flowers as much as other books in the past, and maybe Jason Aaron's Thor is just a completely bonkers thing to compare anything to, and we should just take that approach, like what we were saying with the differences between Donnie and Torrens writing. It's like it's different. Doesn't mean that one is inferior or one is blowing the other one out of the water. It's just different, and we need to look at it as different and not compare two people's forms of creativity to each other.
Yeah, it was so it's that thing. So many seeds were planted in the beginning that hooked us hard.
Yeah.
And we wanted to see it paid off, like, and really be fulfilled with it. And we're having to change like an ingredient like halfway through, and you're kind of adjusting to the taste to be like, this isn't bad. It's not quite what we were aiming for, but this is still pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
And obviously, whatever has kept Donnie away from this book, whatever that could be, not here to speculate on that, but whatever has, like, we hope that he's doing well. We hope that he's able to continue doing this job for a long time and in a passionate way, the way he has for so many years, and offered so many amazing stories to his readers. But right now, I mean, going back to Juan Gedeon and the kind of the panel that really stuck out to me was actually 2 pages, and it involves a lot of great monologue in the narration boxes and great artwork that really tells the story alongside it. Now, I know that is the whole premise of a comic, is the words that tell a story alongside with art. Well, sometimes it feels like the art and the narration, or the art and the dialogue, could really be 2 separate things. But here on this double page, I really enjoyed this, so I'm actually going to read it, so maybe this will hook people who haven't picked up this issue just yet. It is, after Doom escapes, he goes through the portal, and Thor realizes that he's going to have to stop the people running towards the cliff. And he has to assume all the power that Doom was using to control them. He has to take on that power, that magic, which Thor, this was a good point to highlight from Torin. Like, Thor doesn't often work with magic. He works with the enchanted weapons that he's used in the past, but he's not a magician. He's not a sorcerer. He's not, a wizard. So he takes on this power, and the narration says he knows what to do. He saw himself do this in the mirror back in the Amber Cave a few issues ago.
Yeah.
Magic sometimes feels clumsy in his hands, but this comes naturally. He pulls power from Doom's reservoir of souls and takes control. He sees all, he controls all, and he realizes this is how it could be. Another way to rule a country under his control. It could be the world. He knows them and they know him. He feels their unconditional trust, their love, their faith, their worship, their utter obedience. He knows he should set them free, let them go, but it feels like letting them down. When he relinquishes control and gives them back their will, he feels their confusion and their fear. He hears their prayers and he is tempted. The building blocks of life rest between his fingers. He could take away their ability to lie or their impatience. He could take away their hate or their doubt. He could reshape their lives. But he does not know if you can love if you cannot hate, or have faith without doubt. And he does not know the cost. He sets them free. He leaves them, and it hurts.
Yeah, that's
Woo! Now,
blown away by her.
I mean, and of course, the artwork going alongside this is crazy. It's fantastic because you even see those moments where Thor realizes all the power he has and he smiles like this
Evil.
Doctor Doom style smile. And you basically see what you get this hint of what would Thor be if he had the mindset of Doctor Doom. And that is very interesting.
Mhm.
Like, this was the page where I was like, okay, the rest of it is a superhero comic. The rest of it is a superhero comic, and I love superhero comics. These two pages were like, Torrin is delving into something that I feel very personally right now, like with just some stuff I'm going through in my personal life. And some of those last lines about Thor having the power to take doubt away, to take hatred away, to turn their doubt into faith. Like, my goodness, sometimes you get these bits of wisdom and introspection in a superhero comic, and we say that sometimes maybe like it's a superhero comic, like don't think too much about it. But isn't this why we love characters like this? Thor has all the power, he's already powerful. Thor is already one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe, and he realizes that he has the power to control people, to alter them, and he steps down from it. Like, I just want to know, Brandon, because I know we talk about topics like this from time to time. Like, these two pages, really impactful for me. Great Juan Gedeon art, great Torrin writing. What did you think of this part of the story where Thor is almost tempted? Well, he is tempted to use this power in a way that is not as heroic.
I mean, this is the exact part I was thinking about when I was mentioning like her on her craft and like how well she does her captions and dialogues, like to really get a point across and really, bring emotion to stuff. Because moments like these are what kind of ground you in a superhero comic. Moments like these are what help you connect as a reader to the heroic presence. And they give you introspective on like how that can like help you through a situation in your life. And sometimes they're overlooked because sometimes the message just doesn't relate to you and it can
Yeah.
be overseen. But a lot of the times it's so universal, like something like this. I know what you mean, like having the power to like control stuff. Like I'm in the middle of the anthology and everything, and there's a lot like resting like in my hands where I could, make or break at any point. And if you go one direction, it's something, but if you go in another, it's something totally different, and it's kind of more open. And you letting go creative control of something is the same way. So Torrin putting this book out there for everyone to take it, like it's no longer hers. So she's giving that power away.
Right.
That's the same way, with just any sort of, big creation you put out. Once it's out there, it's not really yours. It's just you're giving it to the mass and to the audience, and it's crazy seeing it grow.
Right.
So just like Thor's watching these people, grow post giving them free will.
The power of interpretation is truly a gift that creators give to the people that enjoy their creation, because Torin may have intended this to come across a different way, but I'm taking it as someone who read this right after leaving therapy, and I'm like, good grief.
There you go.
Or I just talked, peek behind the curtains, guys. I just got done talking for an hour about doubt and anxiety and stress with a therapist, and getting some tools to deal with that in my own personal life. And then I read this comic and I'm like, man, wouldn't it be great if someone had the power to take all this away? And literally, my favorite superhero, with one of my favorite writers, is speaking to that very human thing that I literally just got done talking about. So Torin, if you're listening, thank you so much for this, for those 2 pages. But the book kind of ramps up to a finish from that point on, because Thor even has this little interaction with Hela where he expects Hela to be madder about what Doom has done to her and stolen all the souls out of hell. And Hela has a great bit of logic here that I just love. Because Thor says, "You are calmer than I would have expected, Hela, less murderous." And Hela says, "One does not blame the mosquito for seeking out blood." Thor, ever the dullard, Thor is like, "What does that mean?" And Hela says, "Night is dark, day is light. Men will crave power, and some things are inevitable." Now, that word in the last few years has become very synonymous with a certain villain that we ramp up to the finish with, Thanos. Thanos is always the inevitable one, and he busts into this, like we said earlier, he busts into the creation process of this Black Infinity Stone, which features the Eternal Flame from Muspelheim, by the way. We just, we're about to talk about that on our Simonson saga. So if you want to learn more about the Eternal Flame, you can go check out Simonson saga for that. That was another one where I was like, I literally picked up the comic and I shook it and I was like, Thorin, yes, this page. But then we find out that the Black Infinity Stone is a child. Like, and Thanos even, is irate, and he's like, "A child? What is it? Where is it? Where is the stone?" And the narration box says, to end the comic, it says, "But there is no answer, only silence and death." So, what are we doing here, Brandon? Like, where do you think this is going, man, as we get to kind of the end of this issue and speculate forward?
I mean, that's going to be the interesting part, because this could be where they really turn things around and make the book their own. I don't know if Torin's going to follow the map that, was laid out from the beginning of the series, or if this is going to change into stuff. Because you really did literally see Black Infinity Stones, you know what I mean, on a glove with Thanos, like in that vision. So this like new character, I mean, that can take us anywhere at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy. We don't really know where we're headed, but maybe as
you're gonna want to pick it up next month to find out what.
If you got to the end of this comic and you're like, "Nah, I'm not gonna pick up 34," it's like, you are a liar.
Yeah,
like, you are picking up 34. And speaking of 34, I just wanted to kind of fill listeners in about what's coming up for Thor in the next few months, just to kind of preview some stuff. And then we want to, as punk rock as this comic was and how crazy this was, Brandon's got something to share with you all that's infinitely more punk rock in its bones, in its blood, and in its just its awesomeness. So we're going to get to that right there at the end. We're going to talk about a project Brandon's been talking about, and working on for a long time. But just some previews for you all. Like I said, we're going to talk about Avengers with Will next time he's on for new comics. We're going to talk about Alligator Loki next time Faz is on. But just some Thor related stuff you can expect from us here on Across the Bifrost in the next few months. Thor 34 is coming out. The solicitation goes like this. Thor, Doctor Doom, and Thanos. While Thor races Doctor Doom through time, because we didn't really talk about the time storm this issue, but that is still around. He's chasing Doom through time. Doom can tear reality itself asunder in his latest grab for power. They find Thanos at the heart of it all, finally revealing the power struggle that brought Thanos' grandfather Bor and Thanos to an all-out war. The ultimate weapon, hidden away for millennia, but Doom will stop at nothing to control it. Then the solicitation for June's Thor 35 is the Midgard shattering finale of Blood of the Fathers. Dr. Doom makes his final stand to control all of mankind, past, present, and future. Thor must defeat him before the course of history and the future of the 10 realms are irrevocably altered. But taming a force powerful enough to destroy free will itself might prove to be a greater challenge than Thor could have imagined. Plus, the mysterious origin of Hela is revealed. So, lots to expect from the Thor books over the next few months, which we will obviously be covering for you guys because we love these comics and we love you guys and we want to keep you informed about what's happening in the world of Thor today while we cover comics from the past and other parts of his history. We want you to know what's happening right now in his world. There's a few other books that we're going to talk about coming up. Like we said, Avengers is wrapping up with Jason Aaron's run, but Jed MacKay, who is a very, very good writer, sounds really dumb to say, but Jed MacKay has been killing it on books like Moon Knight and Black Cat for a long time, and he's getting his turn at the Avengers, the main Avengers book, #1, coming out next month. I am very excited for this book, and it also features the artwork of this year's Stormbreaker, CF Villa. Via, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that last name. But CF and Jed are gonna absolutely destroy this book. And here's just a little bit of a teaser for you for #1, because we're gonna add this to our monthly new comics episode, and we're going to make sure we keep you informed about what's happening with Thor and the Avengers. This one goes like this: the star, the icon, the witch, the construct, the god, the engineer, the king. The world is ever in peril, and a new team of Avengers mobilizes to meet any dangers that dare threaten the planet. But when Terminus attacks, a new and insidious danger rears its head, one that the Avengers know all too well, and one that comes to them in the most dangerous of guises, that of a friend. So, Jed and CF are going to hit the ground running in May, and then in June, the Avengers solicitation goes like this: the Avengers find themselves with a rare gift, foreknowledge of the dangers coming their way in the form of the deadly tribulation event. But can this information be trusted, and can even Earth's mightiest heroes triumph in the face of cascading disaster? So we have the Avengers to look forward to. We have Thor book looking forward to. But then in June, another book drops that I'm really, really excited about. It's the first issue of a brand new Loki miniseries that we are going to cover on our show because we also love Loki. He's a rambunctious little brother, but we love him. He's kind of like Faz. He's kind of like Faz to me. And it's like, you love him, even though sometimes you're like, you annoy me. Love you, buddy.
I agree with that 100%.
Loki #1 goes like this: Loki saves the Marvel Universe. He may be the benevolent god of stories now, but Loki's past as the god of lies returns to haunt him when ancient powerful weapons that he once built end up scattered across the 10 realms. Loki must track down these weapons before they fall into the wrong hands and bring about Ragnarok. Surprising guest stars, exciting new characters, and startling twists await in this all-new miniseries by rising star Dan Watters and Yerman Peralta. So this is also Dan Watters, I believe, first Marvel work. He's done a lot of like Batman adjacent stuff over in DC. And Yerman Peralta just got done working, or maybe he's still working on the Black Panther series. So lots of great stuff coming up in Thor comics, Thor adjacent comics, but something that is across the Bifrost adjacent is Apollo City Comics. Therefore, Brandon Bloxdorf is across the Bifrost adjacent. So, Brandon, I really want to talk about the Punk Anthology
Gotta
now.
build that bridge. We're gonna make
But
an icon. We gotta make an icon with a Bifrost bridge going from Apollo City.
that would be really great. Maybe Jade Louder can take a break from making amazing comics and amazing variant covers that I'm sure we're going to talk about, and draw that up for us. But yeah, let's talk about the Punk Anthology, man. Your current project and what you've been working so damn hard on.
Yeah. I'm realizing as like I've been exhausted this past week. Dude, yeah, so I put together an anthology and it's punk rock themed comic book anthology, and it's actually the first show I'm actually sitting down to talk about it. I've kind of avoided podcasts and everything since the launch of the Kickstarter. I don't know
Well,
what
I'm grateful that you
um,
made some room for us.
yeah, it's one of those things that it's really time consuming. I'm discovering it's been time consuming since I launched this thing. Let's just backtrack a little bit. I was trying to put out a comic book called Teenage Babylon, which is a cosmic punk rock love story. And my good friend Mark Bernal, the owner of Lesser Known Comics, he was like, "Well, if you want to launch your first book, why don't you try to put together an anthology that is similar within the theme of your story, and so that way you build an audience, and therefore when you launch your book you have an audience to grow off of right away instead of starting from scratch ground zero with just your book." So I opened up submissions for 3 months for punk rock themed comic book submissions to see if maybe I could get maybe 10 people to draw a story and submit me a comic.
Got a
And
few more than 10, didn't you?
we got like 80 submissions in that month, those 3 months.
Nuts.
And it was insane. The outcome was just overwhelming, and it's still overwhelming with what we're planning post this anthology. And it's really cool. We met some great creators, some phenomenal people, some very talented, sweet, amazing people that I am just humbled to like know and call friends at this point. And we put the book together. We started, formatting a Kickstarter. I have a story in it and a couple credits in there as well. And it's kind of a preview of my comic Teenage Babylon that's going to be coming out shortly after the anthology. It's kind of a snippet within that world to kind of just,
Awesome.
you don't need to read it. If you read it, you'll enjoy Teenage Babylon maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so we started the Kickstarter April 25th, and had a phenomenal time. We set kind of a small goal. It's like
Yeah.
the first book. I don't want to be too like, greedy in a sense and thinking we're gonna be above and beyond, but we put a goal at 1,000. We hit that mark within an hour. By day 2, we had already doubled it. Day 3, we got on Kickstarter's Project We Love badge.
That's so cool.
It was really, really exciting to see that.
I assume unexpected too.
Yes, definitely. It's one of those things. It had such a great outpour, and right now we're at 250% funded, and we're just we have 3 weeks left of this thing at the time of recording this. May 3rd. The Kickstarter will end, I believe, May 25th. So anyone
So if you're
listening,
listening to this before May 25th, pay attention because Brandon's going to tell you how you can get your hands on a copy of this yourself.
yeah, I mean, if you pledge, then there's a couple tiers that we try to make pretty friendly. And it might seem like a pricey book at first because we're starting it off at it's $7 digital, $15 physical. And then if you do 22 or more, you actually get some digital assets. And we have digital and physical copies of every single package. So it doesn't matter which way you go. And a lot of this money goes towards these indie creators. Because of the support we've had with that, we were able to get a way to split royalties between the team, so everyone does get something to take home with them, and able to print copies and have them at conventions and whatnot, and kind of do things like that. So it's just really exciting. We also have a Jade Louder variant, which is it's the Jade Louder variant's one of those things that's going to be very limited. So we have about 50 copies of the book, and we're just using that just for this Kickstarter. Like we're probably not going to have any left post Kickstarter.
That cover is phenomenal.
Yes, so phenomenal that I think I could start to announce stuff like this, but if you don't get the Jade Louder variant, I can't do it yet. Never mind. Never
No,
mind. You
don't
know,
save it.
yeah, we'll save it for an upcoming thing. But if you do get the Jade Louder variant, just know that this is just limited to 50 copies. You're one of the few people that'll get it.
Well,
And
I know I would. That's the tier I signed up at, and I'm very excited for. I'm very excited to get that book in my hands.
if you
So
don't, get the Jade Louder tier, you could still add it on as add-ons. So you could get the regular cover and the Jade Louder variant. And we
awesome.
also have a collection with Wolf Punks, which is a new book to the lesser known comics catalog. And then we have various, lesser known comics like packs where you could get, their books from, Jade's. It's a horror show. There's
Great
special.
book. I've read it. I have it. It's fantastic.
Yes, there's and you can get all the LKC books for a pretty awesome price, to be honest, which comes with like the anthology, Death Wish, Chiasm, it's a horror show, Narita, Yuriko, all sorts of stuff. And there's various ones by a lot of these contributors that are in our book. You can get their actual series on the side.
Lots of great stuff. We will be sure to link in the episode description. We will put a link to lesser known comics website, and we'll also give you a link directly to the Kickstarter. So if you're listening to this before May 25th, you can click that link, and we're going to make it real simple for you to become a backer for this Kickstarter, because we want it to succeed above and beyond even Brandon's wildest dreams, which I can assure you, everybody, are probably pretty wild.
And it's really just for these indie creators, you know what I mean? They work so hard
Right.
for this type of work, and we even our add-ons, we have a patch pack that Max Flowers and Dino put together, so that was really exciting seeing them, artwork from all these creations have patches, punk rock patches, and there's even another $2 add-on where Davey, the writer for Belly Right, the writer for Belly Writer, it's a theme song that they made for
Oh
the.
my goodness. See,
And Belly Writer is such a cool story. Like,
if you go back this project, everybody, there's so many different ways to enjoy this anthology. And Brandon, don't get me sorted out here with the numbers. How many creative teams? How many stories? I know that's been part of your big marketing campaign behind the Kickstarter.
yeah, it's 14 stories, 14 creative teams, and it's 27 creators that were put onto this book.
Just outstanding.
Including myself, which has been really, really exciting. And the cover of it's a homage to the Rancid album and Out Come the Wolves. And just growing up as a little punk kid, that was just like a lot of our favorite albums, just that got us into punk rock and the movement.
Oh.
And a big thing about punk rock is the community and the support and feeling somewhere comfortable and accepted and willing to be around people that just want you to be happy and succeed. And it's a lot of DIY in the punk rock community, and that just is the definition of indie comics and the indie comics community that we're part of. So it's been nothing but a blast, and we have so much more to come past this. And I wish I could give you guys all the juice, but like there's stuff happening in the next month regarding the anthology that is going to be insane.
Yeah. If you've become a fan of Brandon through our podcast or through Apollo City, listening on their show, and you're thinking about backing this Kickstarter, go ahead and do it. Join at whatever level you can, whatever level you're able to. But also just know this: you have not heard the last of Brandon. Like, you have not heard the last of what this guy is doing. And I feel like I tell Brandon this all the time, and I probably don't do it as much as I should even, but there's probably at least once a week that I give him a call and I just tell him how proud I am of him. Because Brandon, I know we don't have to go into all of this, but like when Brandon and I became friends, Brandon was a very different person. And Brandon was going through, some stuff, and we don't have to get into that, but like he's going through some stuff, and just to see how much hard work, truly hard work, this man has put into making his dreams happen, and also helping the dreams of others happen, is just incredible. And you've got a great heart for this. You've got it's crazy to talk about a creative process and putting out books and getting people to buy things that you want to share with the world, but talking about how much heart and soul you have behind this. But I think that's the thing that I've really grown to respect and love the most is the man behind this creation, the creator behind the creation. To me, this is exceptional. So everybody, if you got a few extra bucks this month, I know where you can put it. At the link in the episode description, you can go back this Kickstarter and you can help Brandon's dreams and other people's dreams come true and get a really badass comic in the process.
And the cool part is too is like if you do pledge, it doesn't charge you till the campaign's over. So if you want to like reserve your spot, this is the thing, like reserve your timing now and reserve your book, get those variants in while you can, get those patch sets, and make this a phenomenal book to make it even better for what'll come after this.
Yeah.
Volume 2 is already in the works for this anthology, and it's gonna be just as bombastic as volume 1. This is honestly so beautiful. Like I
Yeah.
can't express the amount of energy that went into this. And really quick, I just also want to say, like, because of the anthology, I'll be in San Diego Comic-Con on
I
a
was wondering
panel.
if you were going to mention that.
Yeah, that part I can mention. And I'll be working with Comics Wellspring, kind of promoting the printing company, Comics Wellspring, that's printing our book and a lot of these creators' books. I'll be running a podcast for them soon that'll be coming out in the next month or so.
Awesome.
And at San Diego Comic Con, I'll be talking on a panel that's about how music relates to comics. And me and Mark Bernal from Lesser Known Comics and Gabe Valentine from Digital Lizards of Doom will be on there. So it'll be a really, really fun time at San Diego with all of us.
Man, I can't believe you get to say those words and you get to go live the dream. So yeah, I mean, hey, everybody, if you're by chance you're going to be in San Diego or you're going to be checking out stuff from the con, be sure to look out for Brandon and be like, hey, I heard that guy on that one Thor podcast. So Brandon, you got anything else to share with the listeners of Across the Bifrost and in our chat today? I mean, we've only talked about so much, and it just feels weird that like I'm wrapping up a conversation with you under an hour. It feels odd that we're not just going to keep talking. Maybe we'll keep talking afterwards, but is there anything our listeners need to know before we sign off today?
I think, also check out what we're doing at Apollo City Comics in general right now. Along with the anthology, we're doing a big overhaul. We have a new co-host, Alex Batts, who just joined the show.
Awesome.
Did a first just like guest episode recently, but behind the scenes, Alex and I have been planning so much. And stuff that's going to take kind of years to work on and stuff that's going to be very immediate. One of the things that Brandon Makata, Alex and I have done in the last month is put together a Patreon program.
Awesome.
And our Patreon is really just like something where you could help support Apollo because of everything that we're trying to do and everything that we're putting out. And we want to also make it worth it for you as well. So we have small tiers that start from $1 and they go up to $20 a month. We have the zine, which is basically you get like Discord access, you get to talk to us on there, and then you get to be part of our book club and get Patreon shout outs. And the fun one, the one that everyone I feel like should kind of gravitate towards is the underground, which is $5 a month. What's cool about that is you get everything previous, but then we answer your questions on the show. You could submit topics for us to cover in future episodes, and then we're gonna have Apollo City Late Night, which is going to be a new segment exclusive just for these Patreon members. And it's going to be Apollo City, kind of a bit more unhinged than we already are on Apollo City. And
Well, if you check out Apollo City's main feed and you're like, man, I really wish these guys would just take the reins off.
yeah, exactly. If that's what you want, then that's what we're going to be delivering on that. So that's going to be, and these are going to be shorter segments and everything, which would be awesome. And we're also looking at a really exciting one for kind of craft people and people who want to support us at $15 a month, which we'll be doing monthly craft focus videos. And you'll also get access to our art and what we're working on, like the progress of our stories and access to our stories, our comics before anyone else. So you'll probably get my 4-page story for Teenage Babylon right before anyone gets that copy of the anthology. And as Brandon's working on comics right now, so is Alex. You'll get all of that with that tier.
Wow.
And then we have a $20 one that's really if you're working on a comic, if you're working on a story, you could pledge for that one. And during that duration that you're pledged for the $20 tier, we will help you edit and create, or basically be your comic book editor for your story, and
Very
we'll
cool.
help guide you through the process or be a mentor in that aspect. So there's a lot of things for any sort of person and creative and just somebody who wants to help support the show.
Yeah.
It's worth a $1 a month, the price of a comic book a month to you. We'll try to make it worth it.
So everybody go check out Apollo City, go check out their Patreon, go check out any of the links in the episode description today. And those are ways that you can support Brandon, you can support his creativity, you can support what they're doing over at Apollo City Comics. But everybody, I hate to give you even more plugs. But today, as we wrap up, you can go follow Across the Bifrost at Mighty Thor Podcast on Instagram. You can go check out our Patreon if you want to check out more Thor content. There's less punk rock content on our Patreon, but you're probably going to get a little bit more Thor content over there. So if you want to check that out, that link is, it's probably lost amongst all the links that we've already put in our episode description today. But you can go check that out. We've got a great crew over there of our Thor core members that include great people like Brandon Bloxdorf. And we are so excited to have any and all of you that are able to support us over there. Fantastic. We also, you know what, Brandon? I feel like you've shared some pretty cool shit today. And I just want to say, everybody, I've got some cool stuff coming to my Patreon too. So Brandon's not the only one's got cool shit going on. But we got some cool stuff coming up there for like, hey, a little show named Loki is coming back in a few months. I said a while back, we were going to do some more Hercules stuff, because who's going to talk about Hercules if we don't? We're going to talk about Hercules, Loki, and you're going to get bonus episodes, early episodes, and all sorts of stuff, over there at our Patreon. So if you're able to, give it a look, and we would love to have you if you are able. So everybody, for myself, for Brandon Bloxdorf, until we see you next time aboard the Rainbow Bridge, whatever you're doing, wherever you're at, whatever you're up to, remember to do one thing, and that is to stay worthy. Da-da, da-da-da.